How's it going, everyone? Ned here, and welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be starting a new series. Every Monday I'm going to be putting together a build and telling you guys every nook and cranny of it and how to play it, and I'll run a dungeon with it just to show you it in action. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season, spending time with your family, eating good food. And with that being said, guys, let's get to it. Now, the build today, it's a fan favorite. Everyone loves it, everyone knows it, but I've put a little bit of a spin onto it. So we're going to be running Scholar Cal with Energy Shield and Aggression, which increases your damage and heal power by 3.5%. Now, in this build, I'm going to be breaking down every ability and how it's going to affect the build. So, Energy Shield applies an Energy Shield on yourself, which increases your physical resistance by 104 and magical resistance by 27 for 8 seconds. While the shield is up, you regain energy each time you take damage. Now, each tier of gear is going to affect these differently. So, with T6 gear, you're going to get 104 physical resistance and 27 magical resistance. Now, this is going to be a big part of it. Now, I've made this build to where it can constantly run. So, you'll be getting energy back from Energy Shield while your cape is on cooldown. And we're going to use Limhurst Cape because every 2 minutes and 29 seconds, it activates when you cast a spell and your energy drops below 40%. It restores 8% energy for every second for 10 seconds. So you're going to be getting 80% of your energy back, and if you're using it from 40%, that's going to take you all the way back to max. So we're going to be running that just so we'll have the most energy we can get back possible. And then we're going to run Mercenary Jacket so we can have a lot of sustain while we do these big pulls and get our energy back from Energy Shield. We're going to run Bloodlust, which will, every time you damage an enemy, you heal yourself for 49, lasts for the lower of 8 seconds or 15 hits. So you can potentially get 49 times 15 health. That's at least a few hundred. My brain's not working right now. It's pretty early. And then we'll get Quick Thinker, so our cooldown times are reduced by 5.263%. So it's pretty much 5.3% quicker. And we'll run Master's Assassin Shoes because it's the cheapest of the Assassin boots. But you can pick any Assassin boots if you've already got spec in another one. Or you could even use some artifact ones, but we're just going to be running Refreshing Sprint, which is why you can use any leather boots. And we're going to run Quick Thinker on this as well. So altogether we'll have about 8% almost of cooldown reduction. And then the centerpiece of this build is the weapon, the Greataxe. Now, when you get to rank 3 of Greataxe, you'll unlock Rending Swing, which will pretty much do what the Rending Strike does, but in an AoE. So every enemy around you will get a bleed stack, which you can stack up to 3 times, and it'll deal 20 damage per second, and reduces their healing by 4%. Now this stacks 3 times, so they can potentially be taking 60 damage a second, which is really nice. And then what you'll do is you'll put that on them at least once, you know, until your E comes off cooldown, and that bleed will just be hurting them while you're spinning on them. And then the pinnacle of the build is Raging Blades. The caster is surrounded by magic blades for 2.5 seconds. Every 0.5 seconds, the blades deal 90 magical damage to all enemies in a 6-meter radius. Each hit increases the caster's damage by 4% for 3 seconds. So you can get a 40% damage increase buff for 30 seconds if you at least have 2 enemies around you that get hit by this every time it spins. But if you don't have level 70 in the axe tree, you can easily swap to Adrenaline Boost, which is just as good. But the reason they use Raging Blades is because it also deals damage. So Adrenaline Boost, and it also gives 15% more damage in place of Adrenaline Boost, but increases your move speed by 50% and damage by 25% for 5 seconds. So it kind of evens out because this has a longer time, but this itself also damages around you for really a really decent amount, and its cooldown is only 11 seconds compared to 18. So yeah, you will use Adrenaline Boost until you unlock Raging Blades. They're both very good skills. And then of course we'll run Aggressive Rush, which is another high level passive. Every 4 normal attacks, all your damage gets increased by 8% for 3 seconds. But until you get that, we'll just run Life Leech, I'd say. just so you have a bit more sustain. But if you're comfortable and you've got some pretty good gear and you don't want to run more sustain, you can do deep cuts, which every 4 normal attacks you inflict a bleeding on the enemy. This deals 63 damage per second for 1.5 seconds, and then you can have that active while you have the bleed from that active. And yeah, it just works together really well. And with the gear out of the way, we're going to be looking at the buffs. So just so you can keep running from pack to pack, we're going to run Dangle Mouth. These are pretty cheap, 2 to 3k a piece, which they're definitely well worth it. It gives you an increased health regen by 225% for 30 minutes. Now, you'll see in the dungeon gameplay that I show you that the health regen from these is crazy. I mean, it might not sound like much, but your health, it jumps back up. It's really good, really powerful when you're trying to just speed run. And then we'll keep a beef stew on us at all times in case we're dove, and also that's what the poisons are for. So you'll use these on anyone that dives you. The beef stew, if you don't know what it does, improves your damage by 13.5% for 30 minutes. Which is really well. Now, do you even know how to talk? So what you'll do is you'll pop that, and then you'll swap it out for this, and you'll always have this on you. And if you see a red name below you in the dungeon, you immediately pop it, and then you'll leave these on. You can also use these to clear bosses if you want to maximize your clearing speed, but I usually just hold on to them to take care of divers. And I'm running out of breath. But anyways, guys, that's the build, and let's get on to the gameplay. Hope you enjoy. Alright, we found us a dungeon, and what you'll want to do whenever you get in the dungeon, as soon as you get in, if you don't have your food buff active from the previous dungeon, you'll pump that, and look at that health regen. That's pretty crazy. And then you'll just run through and keep Rending Swing on, because that is a AoE bleeding effect that you can put on everyone around you. And the level 70 Greataxe ability really is the butter to the biscuit, some would say, because it increases your damage for everyone hit by it. So if you only need 2 around you to get the maximum damage boost off of it. But this is my go-to build, so I've got a lot of spec into it, so this is why I'm just slaughtering them. But as you can see, you can easily farm Black Zone dungeons with it. And always keep Refreshing Sprint on cooldown. Let's see if we can't aggro both of them. So yeah, just pop Energy Shield, and anytime you get hit, it'll restore energy. It's pretty nice. It's a lot better if you're fighting bigger groups, but you'll want to save your E for whenever you get bigger groups, and just auto and Q down single mobs or duo mobs. But you can use that. That's got a pretty cool, pretty quick cooldown timer. I'll show you right here is a big pool. You can get some pretty big pools as long as it's below, I believe, T7 dungeons, because those tend to be a bit more trickier. You got to take a little bit more time with it. But yeah, you can just go through chopping up, and it's pretty great. And with Bloodlust, you can easily fight bigger mobs, because every time you deal damage, up to 15 times, it'll restore a lot of your health, which is really good. I love this build. It's my go-to build. It's the build I've got the most spec in, I believe. Let's take a look here. So, the Greataxe, my boy. Yeah, I've got 61 spec into it, but I've got nearly 90 Axe Fighter. And, well, you could... Okay, so, it's just pretty much Mercenary Jacket, Scholar Cowl, any leather boots you want. Even if you want to use artifacts, but I just chose Assassin's Treads because they're the cheapest out of all the leather armor boots and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and just get these, and then Earth Child. Now she kind of makes this a little bit trickier, just because of the damage increase she does to them, but once you get her down, you can just come over and just, oh yeah, just smack them up. Keep Refreshing Sprint on cooldown like I said, and yeah, it's pretty much straightforward. I'll go ahead and run this dungeon and elaborate on any other thing. Now, the cape is on cooldown for about 2 minutes. So whenever that's off cooldown and you get below 40 energy, it's really good to keep in mind to save your energy shield for when that's on cooldown, because that will literally give you 80% of your energy back, and it procs when you hit 40. So I'll go ahead and pop energy shield, and you'll see how much energy you get back from this. It's pretty nice. I'll stand in that just for the energy, because I'm about to get Bloodlust, and he's about to spin a Rooney. I'll spin a Rooney too. We can probably, yeah. I usually just contest it. because I know my damage is higher than what he's doing, and you know it's green chest loot. But yeah, that's pretty much the build. I love it. I mean, it's just a relaxed build you can do if you ever just want to. See, I'll stand here and tank it a little bit, put bleed on them, get my energy back, stand in it, and there you go. You damn near full energy. So the best thing to do is pop your E where it's the most mana hungry, but that right there, and well, pop energy shield before you pop that, because it'll refill all the energy you lost when you cast that, because it has a pretty heavy energy cast timer. Now, I do want to say one thing, the very best buff you can get for this will be the Bloodlust. That increases your damage by 50 and your movement by 50, I believe it is. It is so good. You can run so fast, and you just melt every mob. I hope I get it. You typically do. Oh, we got the energy one, which is still really good, because this is a mana-hungry build. Now, you can usually kill these. They give good fame or whatnot. And quite a bit of silver, but a lot of people leave them to contest people that dive. But I mean, realistically, they're going to be, if they're smart enough to dive, they're going to be smart enough to go around that. So I mean, you might as well get it. But I mean, there's a chance that someone will fumble, you know. Just look at that, that's crazy. Raging Blades is by far one of the strongest abilities, I think, because dude, that's just so crazy. And I am, this is, I think, a T4 or T5 Black Zone dungeon. I'm not too sure, but still, you can get even stronger. And I'm just using a 6.1. Just think if you had a 7.1 or higher or whatever, you'd be absolutely melting. Now, the Greataxe is one of the weapons you can use to solo group content dungeons, as long as they're not high tier. Like, I've watched videos of someone soloing T4 and T5 group dungeons and getting a phenomenal amount of fame. And it's crazy just to think that a singular person can solo content meant for, like, 5 individuals. So I'll do that, pop that, Raging Blades, then E. I mean, rinse, repeat. And then you just pick up all your stuff. And then you walk up here and fight the boss. The boss might be right side. Yep, the boss is down here. And once you run dungeons for the longest time, you get a feel for the layouts, even though it's random every time. You'll be able to know what kind of boss you get just based off the entrance to their boss room. You'll be able to tell if it's a blue one, a purple one, or whatnot. The easiest ones to indicate that are different are the mines. And I believe these are, because if it's a purple chest at the end, there will be a bunch of vines and stuff. I'll show you, hopefully, if we get one. But knowing my luck, I'm not going to get jack doodle. Give me some stuff. I mean, we're getting, at least they're not T4 runes. Well, apparently I did get T4 runes earlier. But still, it is very nice. That looks like some good soup. And by the way, happy holidays, everyone. I don't know whatever religion or whatever you practice. I just want you guys to enjoy it. Take some time off. Work on yourself, you know. Have fun. Spend time with family. No matter where you are in the world, I wish you the best of the best. And with that being said, guys, I mean it. You guys are awesome, and you deserve the very best. And I wish it for you. Oh, okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. T8 soul. Nice. And then a red buff, please. Oh my gosh. I think this is probably the worst buff you can get for this. I think the 2 best ones. Oh no, this is a cooldown one. You can still speedrun it, but my favorite ones to get are the reflect damage one and the ones that heal you, because you can get some fat pulls with that. But the cooldown one's pretty nice too, because you can spam your Q, which is really nice. Get those 3 blood procs on them, and they're just done for. Oh yeah. And then that cooldown buff with your cooldown run, it gets pretty. What the hell is this? We'll pop that just in case and start spinning. They cannot withstand the might. And each week, whenever I do these build guides, I'm going to be taking build suggestions. Any builds that you guys have made and want me to spotlight, I'll give you credit for them. Just leave your build in the description or whatnot, and yeah, I'll put them together and I'll try them out. I don't care if I even have to level the thing from T3 to, you know, be able to use T4, but yeah, I'll do it. I don't mind. Yeah, just leave me some build ideas in the description. Maybe it's a build you put together that you didn't think would work, but it turns out to be badass. And I mean, those are the best builds, the unorthodox ones that just work. You know, it catches people off guard, and they're like, "Wow, that's actually pretty powerful." The bleed will get him. I'll go ahead and grab this. But yeah, this is going to be a new series I'm doing every Monday. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. It'll breathe some new life into the channel. Sorry I haven't been making Albion content lately. I've been taking a break. I've kind of burnt myself out for a little bit, if I'm just going to be honest with you guys. And I mean, one man can only take so much Albion. And I myself, when I put myself into a game, I do go hard at it. Like, I'll play it for the longest time. So we'll go ahead and spin on him. And then we'll get Raging Blades and then Rending Swing him. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That might hurt, but we'll pop Bloodlust just to be safe. Get back to full health in case anyone comes, but we should be fine. Yeah, this is a 1-floor dungeon. And I mean, we didn't get much. We got some good runes, I mean souls and stuff. But yeah, that is the gist of the build. You can use these and just speedrun builds. I don't know how long that took me. I think that took me like 7 or 8 minutes, I think, to run that dungeon. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Comment down below a build that you would like me to do. Maybe it's one you put together yourself or one that you saw somewhere. And even if it's not a good build, I'll make a video on it and test it just to, you know, because maybe it's something that someone thought wasn't too good, but it turns out to be the best, you know. But yeah, I mean, it could be unorthodox as hell. It could be just anything that you think would be viable. Just comment below and I'll try it out. I'll pick a couple and yeah, we'll put them together. This will be a series just on learning all the different items and stuff, you know, which ones can combo the best, which ones work together in perfect harmony and all that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh my god, my friend. I'm sorry, Kissay. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, and I'll see you next time. Peace.